Okay, let's kick it off here on a Monday. Brand new week with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. So glad you are with us here. As you can see, finally, Barry looks to be back in his home studio there in Troy. Man, I bet it was nice to get home.
Hallelujah. It was great. My wife had her birthday yesterday, so we got to spend some time together after 5.5 days off. And I was able to sit and watch a little bit of the NFL playoffs yesterday when we got home. And it was nice not having to scramble around and find a TV to watch a football game. Not that I'm complaining about being on the road with Troy basketball, but just to be able to sit there and watch football, and it's not in a lobby or in my hotel room while I'm doing something else or anything like that. It was kind of nice, but
I bet.
Yeah, but there was the football I did watch from over the weekend. Gave me some answers, and I did watch some basketball too, besides the Troy games. So, we are all in a quest for understanding, John. Our entire lives are spent, looking for understanding. I understand a few things more about the Indiana Hoosiers. Turns out they are really, really, really good. They are much too good to have, quite frankly, needed all the help that Oregon gave them over and over and over again. Indiana would have won the game regardless, but man, Oregon, geez, why are you helping them so much?
Yeah, can't make any mistakes when you play a team like Indiana. Before the Alabama game, talked about how disciplined they were, how confident they were, how well coached they are. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. And if you start doing that, you are already in trouble.
When you
found that out quickly.
When you start making mistakes, that's what they play for. I mean, their numbers were comparable. If you look at stats, their numbers were comparable to Oregon's numbers, in terms of first downs. Oregon had more first downs. They actually had 16 yards more total offense. But you know what? Indiana didn't need a whole lot of offense because they kept getting short fields and turnovers over and over and over again. The idea is that you let the other team make the mistakes, and when they do, you capitalize. And that's what Indiana has done all season long. Very impressed with them.
Yeah, very much so. Got Miami taking on Indiana for the national championship a week from today. And I know we'll be talking a lot about that throughout the week leading up to that national championship game down in Miami. I guess, I don't know, somewhat of a home game for the Hurricanes, but I got to think the Indiana fans are going to be there in mass no matter what the ticket prices are. And I've seen some pretty hefty prices on those national championship tickets, but I don't think they're going to care too much. Been a long, long time since that has happened. So, it was a great weekend of NFL football. I watched bits and pieces of just about every game, and something about when it turns to playoff time, can't put my finger on it. It's one of those things, I just can't explain, but NFL football seems to be more exciting, more enjoyable to watch when we get into the playoff. Not that I don't like the regular season, but they certainly turn it up, which I've said about the NBA before, and people have argued with me about that, but I liked it. I thought there were some good games over the weekend. Started on Saturday, and we're wrapping it up tonight.
I did notice that they did turn it up in the playoffs. For the Buffalo Bills, they did turn it up in the fourth quarter when things got nuts in the Jaguars. 27-24 lost to Buffalo.
I was thinking about you during that drive. A couple of things stood out to me. They didn't remove the tarps in the upper deck. It was packed at the Gator
The pool was packed. The end zone pool.
Yeah. Whatever they call that stadium now, it'll always be the Gator Bowl to me, but it was packed. The tarps were off. It was standing room only, so that was nice to see. A lot of good aerial shots of Jacksonville, too. I thought it was nice in the broad. I like the extra stuff you see, but they had like this drone going down the river, following a boat, coming back from a commercial. I thought, that's pretty cool. I like that kind of stuff. That's
pretty cool.
I mean, there's a lot of people that probably don't know a lot about Jacksonville because they don't see them very much on TV.
Well,
But
You
one
know,
of the things that we had a discussion about many, many years ago, and it involved the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, who were playing this weekend as well. Go figure.
true. Yeah.
And I made the statement, you just got to let them score. You got to let them score so Favre can get the ball back. And as Buffalo's going down the field, chewing up clock, the clock running, I'm sitting there, number 5 child in our watch. I said, they got to let them score. He looks up and goes, what do you mean? And I laid it all out there to him. He goes, you know what? You're right. They do need to let them score so Jacksonville can get the ball back. I went, boom, hello.
The big play was in that drive when Josh Allen made a throw directly from his derriere, out his, yeah.
Now, I wasn't expecting Trevor Lawrence to throw a pick right when he got the ball back. I mean,
so much for suspense. We're going, all right, here we go. Come on, Trevor. Now it's time to prove that you belong with the big boys. First play, boom, interception. Well, okay, at least we're not sitting there biting our fingernails for about 5 minutes on that drive down the field. Oh, well, here comes Buffalo. Take a couple knees. Game's over. Jack season's done.
I'm thinking, let them score. At least all they got to do is get in field goal range. They got the best kicker in the league. So let them score and take your time. I think Trevor was a little rushed. No time. And I thought they burned too many timeouts late, too. I'm thinking, what do you call these timeouts?
Yep. Yeah, the fact that, and I didn't keep up with that. But at the very end, Romo was saying, the Jags, remember, they got no timeouts. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, they don't have any timeouts. What the heck happened to all their timeouts? What are they doing?
Couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the timeouts. Yeah. And I've never coached it down of NFL football, if you didn't know, just to put it on the record.
He's just been doing that basically pro bono.
Yeah.
His
and I'm thinking, man, just let them score, which basically they did on that push play. They finally let them score. But they burned a lot of time, I thought.
The deal was, I think it was the Packers and the Packers and the Broncos when Terrell Davis was playing. John and I had a lot of conversation about that after. I said, you've got to play every play as hard as you can. You've got to give max effort every time the ball is snapped. And John says, no, they're going to sit there and you're going to fight hard and they're going to get the touchdown anyway, except there's going to be about 45 seconds or a minute left off the clock. And I said, no, that's against the spirit of the game. Well, yesterday I was saying it. I was saying, just go ahead. Josh Allen, what is he, 230?
Yeah.
He's 6'5", runs like a deer. I said, that guy's going to score. Let him score. All of a sudden, and of course, when he gets into the end zone, that's a bad look, really, because, here's the game. Buffalo's going for the touchdown. Allen under center. And then you see all those Jacksonville guys going, go ahead.
Okay,
and he ends up being like 8 or 9 yards deep in the end zone.
But it looks better if the Jags come back and win the game. You don't even think about that. So,
that's true. Yes.
Tough loss. Big day down there.
There were a lot of really good games. I mean, every game except for last night's game, which was a dud.
Whoa. Hold on now.
That was a 13-point win for the Patriots. 49ers, Eagles was a classic. Bills, Jaguars, Packers, Bears. Goodness gracious.
It depends
Bears
on how
scored
you
25 in the fourth.
It depends on how you look at it. I thought last night's game was outstanding. More on that later. I mean, really good. I really enjoyed that game last night. I mean, it was one of those games. I mean, I'm thinking, this one's over. I mean, not really over, but you know what I mean.
Over. The time is allotted is not over.
Yeah.
But the score allotted is over.
Yeah, we're not worried about that. So these teams, look, when the Chargers get a pick inside the 10 and can't score, I'm thinking, yeah. This is trending the way I want it to. I'm liking this. So good NFL, not so good basketball if you're Nate Oates, but if you're Stephen Pearl, you're pretty happy. And I said it last week, Bear. I said this is a must-win. They cannot lose to Arkansas, go 0-3. Somebody over there listen, because they played really well, blowing out the Hogs at Neville Arena.
Well, I was watching that game on a little regular TV about 7 rows up in the bus. I was watching both of those games.
Yeah.
So I got a sense of what was going on. Auburn ends up winning over Arkansas, packed house, Neville Arena, 95-73. Big day for the Tigers. Big day for Keyshawn Hall. He scores 30 again. And he said this after the game. He said, we all decided, man, we need to do this for the fans. He says, we've been losing a couple of games at home, but the fans are out here all the time. They're selling the place out. We need to do this for the fans. And I'm thinking, can you get that clip and show it to Alex Golish's team and make sure they see this like every home game, because it's about that time for them too. I agree with that. Man, we don't need to do this for us. We don't need to do this for the university. We need to do this for our fans. We got fans that'll show up for every game. They'll throw water at the refs. They'll scream at the opposing team. We got to do something for them. I love that. Meanwhile, and then afterwards, by the way, that was Auburn's first SEC win.
Yeah.
It was huge. Arkansas's first SEC loss. And the same thing happened in Tuscaloosa. Texas got their first SEC win. Alabama got their first SEC loss, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
And
well, no, they lost to Texas and something else either, but more on that in a moment.
They lost to Vanderbilt too. That's right. So Alabama has lost a couple in a row. The Texas.
And here's why they lost, Barry. You're going to hear this theme throughout the year. Couldn't make a three, and couldn't rebound. And actually, they got out hustled. Nate Oates brought that up after the game. This team looked lethargic.
He
Texas
said this.
Did not.
He said we've got guys who don't care all that much about winning. They think they do, but they don't care as much as they should. And until we do, we're going to have games.
That's
like
a pretty strong, bold statement. You don't care about winning? Then why are you going out there? Why are you even waking up in the morning? Now, don't care about winning. That's a strong statement. Now, not playing defense, that's pretty strong too, but not as strong about don't care about winning. And if you're going to play for Nate Oates, you better play defense. And there wasn't a lot of that Saturday night either.
No.
But the thing that I noticed, can't rebound, and when the threes aren't going, and it was the same thing in Nashville against Vanderbilt. There were some ugly threes attempted. Now, I don't have any problem. You can shoot all the threes you want, because my philosophy is eventually some of them are going to go in.
That's right. The law of averages.
Yeah, but they are missing a lot of threes.
And they have lost 2 in a row in the league. They've got Mississippi State on the road on Tuesday. Auburn will go to Missouri on Wednesday. That'll be on ESPN2, by the way. The Alabama-Mississippi State game on Tuesday will be SEC Network. All in all, a pretty interesting weekend for sports since last we talked. The big thing this week, of course, we'll go out of the wild card round of the NFL. Big deal. The national championship game. Miami and Indiana from Hard Rock Stadium Monday night, a week from tonight. I'll go ahead and ask the question because it's been a while for Alabama fans. And it's been a long while for Auburn fans to taste the national championship. The national championship game. Do we care about this? I mean, again, nobody from the SEC. There's, what is it? It'll be 5 straight years. That's not true. 3 straight years without an SEC champion. Is there some indication about where the SEC is now in the pecking order? Because people are making fun, John. They're saying, SEC, it just means more. Yeah, right. Big deal. SEC, you have come and gone. Everybody else has caught up with you, and some of them have passed you.
Yeah, everybody's taking their shot. There's no doubt. They've gotten so tired of, you heard about Alabama fatigue, and then you heard about SEC fatigue, and now they're taking their shots. And it doesn't surprise me one bit. I still think the SEC is a really good league. to say the least. It's, you'll hear, well, they beat up on each other. Whatever. I mean, the excuses don't mean anything to me. I still believe top to bottom, 1-16, the SEC is a stronger league than the Big Ten. But at the top of the both those leagues, obviously the Big Ten has had the better of every other league over the last 3 years, and I expect them to have it this year as well. Indiana's a 7.5-point favorite in the game next Monday, a week from tonight, down in Miami. I expect them to win. But yeah, people are taking the shots. I've heard it. I mean, I've been hearing it since Ole Miss got beat. Alabama got beat. Oh yeah, they're overrated. SEC not any good anymore. Is it about money? We talked last week about Bruce Feldman's article in The Athletic about the gap when it comes to NIL. I think Alabama experienced that over the weekend. And we'll get into that after the next break, because I know a lot of people are interested in it based on the River Region Straw chat line. That has been a hot topic in the first segment of the program today. And we're going to address that in detail when we return.
Some good stuff in the chat room. Most of it right. A couple of it disagree with, but that's the way it always is. We are glad you're
We'll say this. I appreciate the how did the Phantom do? We'll get to that in about an hour. What's PM saying? Well, we're going to reference him here in just a moment as when we get back, because he actually said something that Bama fans might take some comfort in. Yeah,
he
really.
Didn't say Auburn's going to stink again. Okay. All right. Well, grit your teeth for Philip Marshall. Another reference coming up. John's favorite writer.
Somebody asked on the chat line, what PM have to say?
Well, but that's Chris the Bammer. He always asks.
Yeah, I should have known better.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you're with us. About 18 minutes past the hour on this cold Monday morning. I guess I'll reference PM first.
All right,
this all goes into the transfer portal and NIL and who's going where and who's leaving and who's coming. And obviously there were shockwaves sent through the Bama Nation. A couple of guys, well, one in particular, one of them they felt like they did have. Another one they felt like there could be some interest in that person being Cam Coleman, the former Auburn wide receiver. Maybe Bama fans should take comfort in knowing that, per Phillip, Coleman was never going to Alabama. People who know him say he has never liked Alabama, even though he did take a visit. PM says he was never going. Okay.
Well,
does that make you feel any better?
I know there's a lot of people who have been hearing word of mouth about, hey, man, you got to check out this Longshore and McKnight. Those guys are rocking all this kind of stuff that maybe Tesha. I feel sometimes like I need to disclaim. PM is Philip Marshall. Philip Marshall is John's fave.
Yes,
He's
he
his
is.
boy. He loves him some Philip Marshall. Philip Marshall is the senior associate editor of AuburnUndercover.com. John uses Philip as sort of the rectal thermometer of the Auburn nation. You know, he's taking their temperature. What are the Aubs thinking? You know, let me think. What's going on with the Aubs? Let me check Philip. Even though Philip is like 83 years old, his best days maybe behind him a little bit, but John says no. He speaks for the Aubs.
I disagree. But the rectal thermometer of Auburn athletics, wow.
You know, John considers him that. You know, the Moon River.
Look.
Anyway, Philip.
He's been around. I mean, the guy's seen a lot, so I have a lot of respect for him.
He has sources. Most of them are in the nursing home, but he does have sources.
Wow.
And he evidently was talking to his people and saying that, of course, Cam Coleman isn't going to Auburn either.
Oh, true.
But he wanted to let everybody know he was never going to Alabama. What are you guys kidding? Yeah. So anyway, Cam Coleman has announced that he is committed to the University of Texas.
And his agent,
he says,
Barry, who represents Cam Coleman, is from per Philip, a big Texas booster. And an agent that, you know, is a legitimate agent, because allegedly there's a lot of people that claim they're agents, but they're not.
Well,
or they're not a legitimate agent, or they just say they are and really don't know what they're doing. There again, don't know about the agent world, but allegedly this guy has got some background and he is known to be an agent, but he's also known to be a Texas booster.
In the eyes,
Coleman ended up there. But
in the eyes of the NCAA, an agent could be anybody. It could be somebody's uncle or whatever, which is the problem. This guy evidently knows what he's doing, offers good advice, financially, all this other kind of stuff.
Philip.
His advice was to go to Texas.
And
this is why you can't take this kind of stuff personally, like Hollywood Smothers, you know?
Yeah.
Who we reported last week was going to Alabama, had said he was going to Alabama, and at the last moment, after he'd registered for classes at Alabama, allegedly, he's not going to Texas. It ain't that he hates Alabama. It ain't that Alabama, he looks at it and says, you guys are a bunch of, it's nothing personal. It's all strictly business. I don't care if Cam Newton, if Cam Coleman hated Alabama with a passion.
Sure.
If they paid him enough money.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Philip, don't give me that.
Please.
I've said this forever. As long as I could, maturely think about it. If Auburn's going to pay me, I'll yell War Damn Eagle every day.
Yes.
I mean, it ain't that hard. I mean, hey, John Cohen, you got my number?
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Well, and see, this is the thing, way offsides, Jeff, who on the chat line says Coleman was a hired gun and was always going to be. Jeff, who's not?
Yeah, they're all hired guns.
I'm telling you, this is old school thinking. He was always going to go where the money was. Yeah. And who everybody else is, you know?
And then again, Barry, with the Smothers kid, is it not about money? Did he just, you know what? I kind of like Austin. I'm going to end up here.
I don't have a good feel about
place in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the, the being loyal to Old State U. They don't care. So what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care what the jersey looks like. I don't care what the history and tradition of this place was. I'm in it for me. What can you give me? How much money am I going to make?
And you know what?
Exactly what happened in this scenario.
I do too.
We've been talking about this a long time. There are other schools out there that have more money. They've got ways to get it, whether it is from big boosters that are willing to do it, a la Texas Tech, Indiana. And once again, I thought this was interesting as well. about endowments. You hear a lot about endowments, and this is for the entire school. It doesn't provide money for athletics. Texas and Texas A&M have the biggest endowments in the SEC. Texas is $47 billion.
With a B.
A&M is 20. Florida is 10. Florida is $2.5 billion, and Vanderbilt is 10. So who's behind Florida at $2.5 billion? About 12 other schools. And that just gives you a taste of the type of money that flows into these institutions.
Yes.
That money's flowing because they've got a lot of rich alums that over the years and years and decades have built these endowments up. Auburn and Alabama, they're below $2.5 billion. How do you compete with a school that has a $47 billion endowment? You got to think, if they got $47 billion in their endowment, they probably got a few guys that are willing to throw some coin toward the athletic department as well.
Well, and some of it, of course, is limited. The revenue share portion, the amount the school can pay the players directly is limited. But what they do with that, I've heard, is that the good players get all of that. The other players, the new players, the starting linemen, stuff like that, offensive linemen, they get the NIL stuff, and that's where all that, comes from. The actual name, image, and likeness, where you get paid for going out and driving a Range Rover or something like that. So you look at it right now at the teams that are cleaning up in the transfer portal, and it ain't Auburn, it ain't Alabama. They'll get their fair share, but they ain't competing with those guys.
So over the years, I asked this question: where will college football be in 5 years? Where, particularly, specifically, will Auburn and Alabama be in college football in 5 years? How can they maintain? How can they keep up? How can they compete with schools we see that are doing things out there that, quite frankly, they're not? Now, Philip also goes to tell us that Auburn legitimately has in the neighborhood of $30 million for football. He claims that figure is in or very near the top 10 nationally. Wow. Really? Okay.
Oh.
The other thing that struck me was I read a lot of stuff from people that cover Auburn and Alabama. I don't hear Alabama reporters talk much about Alabama's NIL and where it ranks nationally. Is Alabama's NIL in the top 10? Is Alabama's NIL in the neighborhood of $30 million?
Couldn't tell you.
It seems to be assumed that it is, but you don't hear much about it. Now, you do hear that Greg Burns sending out emails and, text and tweets and Instagram chats and, hey, we got to have some more money. And they're nickel and diming it. They'll take whatever they can get. Is it because they don't have the big handful of donors that can maybe really help them out a lot? I've heard that. But can you make it nickel and diming people to keep up with Texas Tech and Indiana and Ohio State and Texas?
Yep. Great question. And, there are people out there who are willing to pay whatever. Colin Gay is a writer for the Tuscaloosa News, covers Alabama football. Colin Gay. He says, according to a source close to Ty Simpson, Miami has sent him an offer to be the highest paid player in college football at $6.5 million. Tennessee offered Ty Simpson $4 million. Ole Miss offered Ty Simpson more. Last year, with incentives, his base salary at Alabama, $400,000, in incentives, $800,000. As of yesterday, he's not in the transfer portal, but would he, as a first-round NFL draft pick, with a guaranteed $6.5 million to stay in college one more year somewhere else?
Why would you want a guy to come to your school who played at Alabama and was the first quarterback to not win an SEC championship since John Parker Wilson. Somebody you brought up last week, as a matter of fact. JPW never won an SEC title, and now Ty Simpson falls into that category as never winning one as a starting quarterback at Alabama. I said it last week. It's time for Ty to move on.
Don't get me started, because that makes zero sense.
Time for Ty to move on. But here's the problem. Ty might be moving on because he's thinking, I have nobody to block for me. Hollywood Smothers probably think, I can go to Texas. They got plenty of offensive linemen. They ain't got – the ones in Tuscaloosa are terrible. They left, and I'm not sure who the next ones in line are. So why am I going someplace when I'm not real sure about who's in front of me to open up these gaping holes for me to run through? Well, I think that might have been some of the issue as well. But how do you have these kids – how do you have Smothers on campus, Barry, and let him leave without some agreement? Hey, I hope you like your visit. Hope it went good for you. I mean, what is DeBoer thinking about? Courtney Morgan, the GM, you get this kid on campus and you don't lock him down? That makes no sense to me.
And you got people, sometimes it doesn't even matter whether they're on campus or not, because he's getting a text. Man, this is so-and-so from the Texas Longhorns. You're on the campus at Alabama? Have you seen their running game last year? Have you seen what they were doing? Don't sign anything. We'll get with you. Don't sign anything before you leave. It's hard, man. It's hard.
You got to lock there again. I can't believe that, you're going to let him leave campus without locking him down. That is a head scratcher. But
we're going to have to spend a long segment. Again, make me understand why you don't want a returning fifth-year senior quarterback who threw for 3,500 yards last year, because you want to get your guy in there.
I said it last week. I think year 3 is huge. If I'm Kalen DeBoer, am I rolling the dice with Ty Simpson one more year when I know it's probably a year I've got to make something happen or I'm gone? Or do I put in a quarterback that I recruited, the style of player that I'm most comfortable with, the kind of player that I believe I can win with, that I've got a track record of winning with? I think you got to look at it through DeBoer's eyes. I don't think he can take the chance.
I think it's a bigger chance starting a redshirt freshman quarterback than it is starting a fifth-year senior who's a proven commodity. I think that's the chance.
Well, I mean, there again, you can look at the record book and the stats, but there were some games, particularly in the latter part of the season, that Ty Simpson did not play well.
Well, there were games this past season that Keelan Russell didn't play in at all. And you're going to look at who's playing. Look at who's successful right now. Is Miami in the national championship game with a quarterback that Mario Cristobal recruited? Is Indiana? Was Ole Miss?
That's apples and oranges. I don't think you can compare what somebody – well, it's like Indiana. I mean, that guy's got a great quarterback. But I've seen Ty – there again, I have no problem with Ty Simpson. I just think it's time for him to move on. And I saw him regress from October when the Todd McShays and the Mel Kipers were all over themselves about how great they thought Ty Simpson was. He's a number 1 draft pick, first quarterback out of the draft. Even then I'm going, really? What are y'all seeing that I'm not? And as the season went on, he turned into what I thought was an average quarterback. Well, he's running for his life. He had no offensive line. He had no run game to lean on. Okay. Is that going to be there this fall? I mean, the offensive line just left. Who's on the offensive line?
That's another good point.
Is a true freshman running back going to change the running game at Alabama?
Is a redshirt freshman quarterback going to change the offense at Alabama?
I'd rather roll the dice with the guy that I recruited that I want running my style of offense.
Nobody in college football at the top. Maybe Gunnar Stockton at Georgia. Maybe Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. Other than that, nobody's winning with a guy they recruited out of high school. Everybody's getting older guys. Indiana's guys.
Well, Alabama's had 2 years with older guys, and it has not been successful. Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. So what does the chat line say? Do you want Ty Simpson back? I mean, I'd like to know your opinions. I'm just trying to I'm giving you my opinion.
Yeah. Well, do
you want Ty Simpson back for 2026?
It ain't happening. So I just don't get the dislike and everything like that, and saying, "Oh, we're going the dislike." I'm not talking about him personally, but we need to. It's time for him to go. For a redshirt freshman quarterback who hasn't played, which is rolling the dice? Do you want to roll the dice with Ty? Ty's a whole lot less of a roll of the dice than Keelan Russell.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can accurately say that. I mean, would DeBoer have liked to have played Keelan Russell earlier this year? Maybe he would have. Didn't want to disrupt the locker room. Didn't want to, affect the psyche of the guy that he had starting at the time. I don't know, but I've seen enough of Ty Simpson, and I think it's there. I think year 3 is huge for DeBoer, and I'm not sure Ty. Here he goes again. Couldn't make a change, brought this guy back. I'm seeing the same thing I saw last year.
At least you'll see something different this fall. And believe me, history tells us that if he loses a couple of games, look, he'll go 4-0 to start. But if he loses one of them, everybody's like, man, what did we get rid of Ty for? This guy's no good. Look at him running around like a crazy man. So that's what Bama fans do with their quarterback.
If you think they're going to win the first 4 games, which I think they will, I think that's 4 games you can get ready. You can get seasoned. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's get to some meat and potatoes games now. I've been through all these. I got a good rhythm going. I'm confident. I see the game, feeling better, had some game experience. If that's what it takes, those are the 4 to get it done. Boom. Here comes Georgia. Let's tee it up.
This is, again, you look around the country. The older teams are the successful teams. They ain't a whole lot of people winning with redshirt freshman quarterbacks out there. They're winning with transfers, 23, 24, 25-year-old guys. You got one. What does this mean, Jeff? I'd rather go 9-3 with Keelan than 9-3 with Ty? Why?
Yeah, you're making exactly. I've seen Ty Simpson at 9-3 or 11-4 or whatever they were. I've seen that. If you're bringing Ty Simpson back, you better be thinking Natty. I don't think.
Are they not? Are they thinking Natty with Keelan Russell?
They're not going to win the Natty next year. I hate to break it to Bama fans, but they're not going to win it next year either. So why are you going through another year with Ty Simpson? I'd be starting developing these guys and let them get ready to go. And if you got to let them develop in 26 to get ready for 27, but they ain't winning the Natty next year.
I'm rooting for the kid then because, boy, if he's not successful, we're going to be hearing this. It's time for him to go. We need to try something else.
But there again, hasn't Ty Simpson made that decision? I mean, it's not like I'm telling him to go. He's already made that decision. He says, I'm gone. I'm going to the NFL.
That's a fair point. My only point is that Bama fans, I don't get why you're dogging the kid and saying, man, it's about that time. He just needs to go. Well, why? Well, I'm tired of the 3,600 yards he threw for, running for his life with the most drops of any team in the SEC this past year.
Let me put it this way then. I am so glad that Ty Simpson has made the decision on his own and with his family to take the next step in his football life and see what happens in the National Football League. I've got way to go, pat you on the back, all the confidence in the world. You go get him, Ty. I'm pulling for you. Maybe I should have put it that way.
But if you had, that would have, I mean, there's some people that feel that way. If you had, that would have been lying. That would have been a falsehood. That would have been a fib, a prevarication. You did not mean that. Thank gosh, he's out of here.
I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I will say this. I'm not sure Ty Simpson is a first-round NFL draft pick as a quarterback. I could be proven wrong. I've missed on NFL quarterbacks before. I've hit on some, but the ones I've missed, we still hear about it. I just don't think he could develop over a couple of years in the league after he gets accustomed to it. But, if that's the decision he wants to make, good for him. Now, I do think it's interesting, Barry, if somebody's willing to pay him $6.5 million to come play for them in college.
Right.
I think, whoa, Alabama's not going to pay him $6.5 million.
No.
That ain't going to happen.
And you got a couple of business decisions to make. You can play somewhere, make more money than you would as an NFL quarterback, as a third stringer or whatever. I mean, the kid, Brendan Sorsby for Texas Tech now, he's making more money than Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur is a starter. You make more money than you would as a second-round quarterback, something like that. You get a longer deal, but in college, you can get $6.5 million and you can play. You can develop a little bit more. You can take snaps, have reps, whatever. It's not an easy decision to make.
How about this though, Barry? Can Kalen DeBoer afford to have Ty Simpson come back and lose Austin Mack and Keelan Russell?
Oh.
Because I think if Ty Simpson did come back, those two are gone.
I think that you have hit upon it. I think that is the number one reason why Bama fans want him gone. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I know we actually have 3,500 yards passing. We know he's done that. That has actually happened. But if we keep him for another year, we may miss out on two guys who haven't done squat that I hear are really tearing it up on the practice field. They got arms like cannons and run like deers. And
I remember
they're ready for urban myth rather than actual
tearing it up at practice. All I heard was about this kid. But there was a starter in front of him. As a matter of fact, he played for the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Threw a terrible pass into triple coverage to end the game.
I thought you were talking about Turk. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah. And in the season for the Philadelphia Eagles last night. All I heard was this other guy at practice. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know how they're keeping this kid off the field.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't heard the same thing. Well, I kind of slightly heard some things similar. Not as much as I heard about Tua, but those are the decisions a $10 million head coach has got to make. Do I want this guy back? Oh, I know he's 3,500. Stats are for chumps. But I think there's more of an upside with these two guys that I've got in my back pocket that I think we need to unleash them and see what they can do.
He better be sure. He does not. He better not be guessing too much. I mean, some of it is a guess, but you better not be guessing a lot. Because, again, as somebody once told us, year 3 is huge for him.
Oh,
Keelan Russell better be all that.
JJ in Atlanta says he's done with Ty, move on. I've always thought JJ was a smart
wait a minute
program.
Chris the Bammer said I'd take Ty back in a minute.
Yeah.
That's
what we're looking for. What do you think? Who do you want?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just,
It's way offside. Didn't way offside Jeff chime in on the Ty Simpson debate? I thought I saw it.
Yeah, he did. He said, why waste another year with Ty?
Yeah.
Why not see if Keelan or Mac can play?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's
sure, Jeff.
If you ever want to distill John's theory of life, it's in 2 words. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's take a chance.
Man, we really don't need to go out tonight. We got a final tomorrow. Why not? Come on, that type of thing. Well, why would you play Keelan Russell when you've got a guy who's, led your team for 14? Why not?
Bama's got a history of it. They've got a history of having a backup that came in and did some good things.
They have a bigger history of the most popular person on campus being the backup quarterback all the time. Can I go over the list of names of people's of quarterbacks that Alabama has ballyhooed?
You get on me about
that
was so 15 years ago. I mean, that was even pre-Saban. That was back in Dubose and all those coaches. You got to play the back. I didn't hear that much chatter during the Saban era, but everybody seemed to be pretty pleased with who the starting quarterback was.
But that was yesterday.
Yeah,
I had the world at.
And I don't see that same. There again, I just think, Ty, I love you, buddy. Gritty, pluck and grit. You got it.
I just never have understood. It was time for that's the one that just go. It was time for him to go.
Well, as I said last week,
well,
sometimes you got to tell that, when you're in high school or college, you go, honey, it's been great, but
yeah,
I think it's time for you got to move on.
And then your new girlfriend, you know, she's texting you all the time. Who was that you were talking to? Were you, you know, and all this kind of stuff? You don't want that, I promise.
Well, luckily, we didn't live in the text era. We
Yeah,
have
no
to deal
kidding.
with that.
Yeah, believe me, there are many things I am thankful for in my life. That is one of them. Woo, man. John
Yeah.
as well. Goodness gracious, I could have gotten into trouble if they had only known. Well, got to take a break right here. This is a long segment. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud
You're
Light.
not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074. Okay, welcome back, everybody. About 13 minutes to the top of the hour on a Monday, Longshore and McKnight. Glad you're with us. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. Tell your friends and associates about us. We'd appreciate that. You know, you can check us out at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. Video content, a write-up about the show each and every afternoon. And, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Tunes, X, all over the place, for you to listen and or watch at your convenience. So we really appreciate that. Did John forget that Hurts and Tua played for Saban? I do remember that. And everybody was happy with Jalen Hurts until Tua came in to save them. And that was that. And then Jalen came back to save Tua.
That's right. And then he went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
and
don't
now
know.
he's in the NFL. And yes, he did make he did panic a little bit last night for the Eagles in the loss to the 49ers. But, you know, he is a Super Bowl MVP. That'll always be.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's just way offsides. Jeff says, I remember in 93, we Gumps were screaming for Brian Bergdorf. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I do not know of a fan base who is more well-renowned for rooting for the backup quarterback than Bama fans are.
Did Bergdorf spend some time in a correctional facility?
He did.
I thought so.
Yes,
Yeah.
He did. What about this from, again, the news of the day, so to speak? Texas they're rolling down the grocery aisle. They're over at the discount store with a big cart, and they're not going for Members Mark.
No.
Or they're not going for Kirkland. They're saying, I want the filet mignon right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's 36 of them. Give them to me. Yeah, I want the shrimp cocktail over there. Give me 22 of them. You know, they're not shopping the
They're
cheaper
shopping
than dirt store.
Teeters, which is a high-end grocery chain in North Carolina.
Yes, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman, he's making more money, I would venture to say,
I'd
at
agree.
Texas than he is at Auburn.
But Barry, I'll ask you this.
Same thing with Hollywood Smothers. And I've seen the stuff on the social media. Well, this guy, he's not loyal. He's not a man of his word, this and that and everything else. Yeah, so that's not the point. Well,
you're talking about Smothers is not a man of his word?
Yes.
Do we know that he verbally told Kalen DeBoer, I'm your man, I'm coming? If he did tell him that, then why didn't they lock him down? Why'd they let him leave town without some type of written agreement? That's
great to know. I'm really happy about that. Can you sign this little thing right here? Right here. Just take you a moment. All right. Put an X if you have to. The Texas is in there. They are making deals and stealing kisses and, limo riding there. They're coming in. Now, to my co-host credit, I believed it at the time, but he was the first one to really say it. There may come a time when the rest of the SEC may be a little bit sorry that they've invited Texas to be in this league, because Texas and A&M too. And A&M, I don't know what their problem is, but you think a good, solid, head straight, really good football player kid, if he's getting recruited by Texas and getting recruited by Mississippi State, does anybody have any doubt? Well, even the Mississippi State coaches are like, hey, man, Texas is in on this kid. Oh, well, strike him off our list. We got no chance. And it ain't just the Mississippi States. If they want to, they could do that again to Alabama on the next guy and the next guy and the last guy. It ain't a level playing field out there right now. And it's not about the natties that Alabama's won, and people don't care about Mark Ingram. You
can walk through that Malmore facility, look at all those trophies and all those Heisman winners and all that other stuff, jerseys of guys that are in the NFL. Don't care how much you're paying me. I'll go to Northwestern, or I'll go to Vanderbilt, or I'll go to South Carolina. I mean, some of these schools I've heard these Auburn and Alabama players are going to, I'm thinking, are you kidding me? But obviously they're getting something that they weren't getting at their previous stop. And if I had to guess, I'd say it's money, more of it. They don't care what the jersey looks like, don't care what the weight room looks like, don't care what the media center looks like, or all these bells and whistles that these universities built, these mega football complexes. So what? Don't care. I want my money. And that's what it's loyalty. Forget it. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Well, Bear Bryant coached here. Who? Who's he? Never heard
Bear Bryant.
Yeah, don't matter. And I know the old guard doesn't want to hear it. And I know we grew up watching football that way, the pageantry, the traditions, all that stuff that made college football great. And I love it. And I hope it never goes away. And the players were there for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. They loved where they played. Those days are over. Unless they can get a grip on this, they're over.
The Bear Bryant stuff, the old guard, again, your thinking is a little bit antiquated, because guess what? These kids weren't alive when Bear Bryant was. And you know what else? Neither were their parents. He died in 1982. You know how long? That was 43 years ago. Mom and Dad weren't alive when Bear Bryant was coach.
I was in Tuscaloosa on Saturday, and it was number 3 child's birthday. Went up there and took him to lunch with his buddies and his girlfriend, and we're in a restaurant. And I'm looking up, and there's a probably 10-foot tall photo of Coach Bryant in the restaurant. And on the other side, there's a big picture of Saban. I'm telling you, 10 feet. It's Bryant leaning up against the goalpost. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I looked at it several times while I was having lunch, and I thought, these kids, I'm wondering, do they even know who this guy is? I'm thinking, I was waiting for them to kind of bring it up. Maybe like, wow, man, look at Coach Bryant. Never fazed him. Didn't think twice about it. And I'm thinking maybe when I was in school and I saw a picture of Wallace Wade or Ears Whitworth or
Frank
whomever else was
Thomas,
up,
man.
I'm thinking, who's this guy?
Who's that
But you're
geezer?
right. They, as hard as it is for people our age and older to go, what do you mean they don't know who Coach Bryant is? They don't.
Pat Dye last coached in 1992. Kids don't know Pat Dye. Kids don't know Tommy Tuberville. Not that he was, a national. Well, I guess he did win a national.
I'm surprised. It's interesting, Barry, when he becomes governor and the polling says he will, I wonder how many kids are going to go, really? Wait a minute. He coached at Auburn at one point in time? He's the governor of Alabama now?
Yep. Well, this is what's important now. This stuff about Texas doesn't spend their money well. 1970 and 2005 were their only two titles in 55 years. That's true. There's nothing. That is a factually correct statement. But they're giving themselves the best chance. Sooner or later, they're gonna figure it out.
Barry, Texas. There again, they won titles in a totally different era of college football. Totally different.
Totally.
Now they're spending money and doing things in a new era of college football. We'll see how it plays out. Now, I'll admit, I think Texas certainly underachieved this year in 2025.
Agreed.
But I certainly think they are in a position and they are built to succeed. Now, is Sarkisian the right guy to call the right plays and put the pieces in the right places? We'll see. But in the day of NIL, acquiring the best transfers, I think Texas is in a good position to do it, as is A&M.
Yes. So
can Auburn and Alabama keep up? Can they keep up?
Here's why Indiana is just steamrolling everybody. The school that is more than a touchdown favorite to win the national championship is Indiana University.
Yeah.
That's weird, right? That's weird. Indiana is about to win the national championship. They don't have, they got a good bit of NIL, a whole lot more than they used to. They're paying their coaches 3 times more than they've ever paid them before. So they're investing in it, but they've got Mark Cuban, they've got some money, they've got NIL, but they don't have, were they after Hollywood Smothers or, Cam Coleman or all that? No, what they do, number one, they struck gold. It's just, the Fernando Mendoza thing.
Yep.
Nobody knew who Fernando Mendoza was a year ago, unless they knew, that he.
And you know what, Barry?
Cal.
Maybe the college football world a year from now is going to be going, how did they keep this Keelan Russell kid on the bench? What was DeVore thinking about?
They might. Don't think so. But here's Barry, what's going to happen.
Let me go back to what I asked earlier about 5 years from now. Where will college football be 5 years from now? Where will Auburn and Alabama football be in 5 years from now? Well, let's think about 5 years ago. Alabama won the national title. Their last one, 2020. Yeah. When Alabama won that title, how many people, nobody, not one person, thought Indiana would be playing for the national title 5 years later and beat Alabama by 35 points?
Yes.
Nobody thought that would happen.
No. And how have they done it? Well, they struck gold. Lightning struck with Fernando Mendoza. Nobody thought that would be except maybe Tobias. Tobias says, I knew about Mendoza last season because I bet on Cal twice. That's a fair point. Good job there.
Hey, and I forgot he beat Auburn too, Tobias.
Yeah. But that kind of, here's what happens. And this is why it's applicable to Texas. You keep getting really good players. And every really good player wasn't a high school 5-star. They got 13 players that Cignetti brought with him from James Madison, including his starting wide receiver who caught 2 touchdown passes the other day against Oregon. And, their starting running back who ran for 2, I think, as well. Yeah. So, get the best guys that you possibly can that fit your system. They're older guys, every one of them, and you're gonna have success.
Maybe
that's what Texas, if Texas keeps stockpiling guys, if these guys are the right kind of guys, Sooner or later, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to win a national championship.
And maybe like Kurt Cignetti, what he did, maybe Alex Golish is doing the same thing, bringing half the USF team up to Auburn. Maybe that's what's going to happen. So maybe there is a silver lining for the Auburn Tigers. But what's USF going to be like next year? That's another thing. These schools, when they get rated by these other programs, what happens to those type schools?
Well, they're uniquely positioned as well. Their new head coach is Brian Hartline, who used to be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. They've hit the transfer portal pretty well. So, you've got some teams that are getting decimated out of the portal. And you better be ready to play that game. You better be ready to play the game. You better be ready to go to your people and saying, look, we're getting crushed by these other people in the portal. So we have got to either, ante up. If you want expectations of playing at the highest level, you better ante up, or you're going to have to find somebody else.
When you're a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, you can send posts like this.
Yeah.
Please read my comments. Thank you.
Yeah.
About this one.
Well, he says this. Indiana 30, Miami 27, my prediction. John, do you remember Michael St. John, a disc jockey in Birmingham in the late 70s? He was a wrestling commentator for Nick Goulas in Nashville and for Jerry Lawler. That's what he wants us to. And he says,
in what year was that, Barry? 19 what?
In the 1970s. I knew Jay St. John, who was a disc jockey here in Montgomery.
Awesome. Dennis, I did in 1970. I was like 6 years old. I don't remember.
Yes,
I do remember Mark and Brian. They were in Birmingham.
I forgot those guys. Well,
I do remember them.
Let's take a break. Couple of things from our guy Bob from Pike Road I want to get to in just a moment
Bob,
as well.
Bob's coming in hot today. I love it.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the River region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Okay, rolling into hour number 2 on this Monday. Glad you are with us, whether you're watching live or watching at your convenience throughout the day. You can pick us up anytime, anywhere that it's convenient for you. I know a lot of people listen to us on Spotify and Apple Tunes as they're traveling around the state or wherever they may be. And certainly, folks, check us out on Facebook and YouTube. You click that Yellowhammer News Facebook account, Barry. I understand that the numbers are just off the charts with people that check us out there.
It's really it's really encouraging. We appreciate all of that. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button when you get here. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. We are glad you're along with us here. We're talking a little bit of football. Auburn, there's not, Auburn basketball, big win over the weekend. The transfer portal. Uh-oh. All of a sudden, I think I
got you. You just sound, you're in mono instead of stereo. I can hear you, though.
Yeah, what happened is my microphone got disconnected. So I hope you can hear
I got
me.
you.
We're going to try this in just a moment. But a lot from Bob from Pike Road. Yeah. He says this. First of all, he said, with Bama absolutely getting boat raced in the Rose Bowl by Indiana, and now our coaches forget to get Hollywood Smothers to actually sign his contract after committing, along with swinging and missing in the transfer portal over and over and over. Things are not good at the moment in Titletown. He says, Bama needs 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen at a minimum, and it appears the bottom of the barrel is about all that's left. John mentioned the other day, was it Friday, that Alabama got a wide receiver commitment? I think it was a wide receiver commitment from somebody from the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley.
Never heard of the place.
Something like that. Bob says Bama has had over 20 players, 6 of which were offensive linemen, hit the portal. Bama is in bad need of O-linemen. We only have 9 or 10 on the roster, and that's not good. And he goes on to say, for the 2026 football season, Bama's talent will regress from top 3 in the nation in overall roster talent to somewhere around top 20, 25 talent. It appears the program is regressing. Not good at all. He says Ohio State is regressing too in a very similar position.
Yeah, maybe they spent all their money. Where was Indiana ranked nationally? Were they between 20 and 25 or even lower than that?
I guess. Yeah.
I wonder where the Hoosiers were there. Bob, there again, I just think year 3 is huge for Kalen DeBoer, whether it's transfer portal hits and misses, whether it's losing games by 17 points, 21 points, 35 points. Those things cannot continue to happen, Bob. And I think it's going to be real interesting. I touched on this last week. I'm not getting any feel for it, but is Greg Byrne working up some type of an extension or bump in pay for Kalen DeBoer? I hope not. Nothing against Kalen, but does he deserve it? I don't think so. But Michigan and Penn State came a-knocking. So what? Does that mean you automatically got to bump the guy's deal? Longshore McKnight had ratings that were through the roof. You think they were running down the hallway to go, hey, guys, will you sign this? Will you sign this extension? Will you sign this pay raise? They should have, but their loss.
Yep. I continue on. Bob from Pike Road, Crypto Capstone, he says, based on the overall situation in Titletown, he calls it Titletown. Yeah. He never calls out. He calls it Tuscaloosa once. He never calls Auburn. It's always Titletown and Lee County. He says, based on the overall situation in Titletown, roster talent, coaching, and other factors, Bama has not been this far away from another natty since January 2007. Plain and simple.
I'll agree with that. I said it this year, and I've already said it today. Alabama's not winning the national title next year. I said it, well, after the Florida State game. I think everybody was saying it then. But even after the Georgia win, I'm thinking this team isn't winning the national championship. Not going to happen. And I don't see things in place to be able to do that right now. Am I kind of saying that you can see the end is near for Kalen DeBoer? Yeah, I think you can. I mean, there's got to be a big turnaround next year. 11-4 is not going to cut it because you can't lose games by 17, 21, and 35 points. Can't do it. Not
And so
not
far,
acceptable.
And so far, you're not seeing this vast influx, even though, I mean, they've had recruiting classes, high school recruiting, getting these red shirt guys that's from last year, getting these young players in is the be all end all. The high school recruiting has gone really, really well.
Yeah.
Are you not?
But it seems this day and age, you've got to get an experienced player with some mileage on his tires that is proven that he can get it done. And these top 3 recruiting classes, there again, they've had some. Where are all the offensive linemen? Where are all the defensive backs? Where are the running backs? That's the biggest issue with me.
Well, oh my gosh, have you seen this Jalen Mbakwe kid? Oh, we're going to dominate with that guy. Hey, we got this kid from Finland or Denmark or something like that. This offensive lineman, Alabama's reach goes over into Europe, this and that. Those guys are.
When I saw that kid with that bling around his neck and, he's blonde-headed and white as a sheet, I'm thinking, what?
I thought flock of seagulls. I'll admit, I certainly did. Now this from our buddy Coach Ed, and we're talking a little bit of Auburn here.
Yeah. Okay.
And believe me, I realize that if Philip Marshall thinks about John Longshore, he ain't mad at John for John.
No.
John will jab him now and again. I never have really paid much attention to Philip Marshall. John loves him.
Oh, yeah.
But his latest where he says, Cam Coleman, he was never really going to Alabama. Well, he was never really coming back to Auburn either. But, John took a little bit of interest in that article, Philip Marshall, auburnundercover.com. He says, Bama fans, he was never coming to Alabama. I know somebody who saw somebody whose friend passed out at 31 Flavors one night who said that Cam Coleman hated Alabama. Like that matters.
Yeah, how did he know that? I wonder, did he ask him that? Hey, man, what do you think about Alabama? Oh, Philip, I hate them. They're terrible. They suck. How did he know that?
But I'm going to go visit him on Saturday. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I might hate them, but if the money's right,
I can love them and leave them.
Yeah.
Coach Ed, he says, hey, PM, if Auburn football has $30 million, why in the heck did they let 7 starters on defense leave? PM needs to open the window at the softball complex and get some air. All right, give us a moment on that one.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Now, what you'll hear about that is
those guys.
What
They were no good.
Yeah. What's the deal? PM, they said Cam Coleman was a locker room distraction. That's an easy way to say we didn't have enough money to pay him. If the guy's that good, you're going to find a way to keep him. All these other guys as well. Coach, you make some good points. And, Coach, I know this is something you've been on for a long, long time. Coach does not believe Auburn has the money that some people are reporting that they have. I don't know.
He also believes that Auburn doesn't have the money to compete year in and year out with some of the other schools in the league. He's been emailing us that. He's saying, John, are you saying that the Bammers will spend $55 million more than the Aubs have ever spent to send DeBoer packing? Is that what the money is? Is that what the number is if DeBoer's gone? Because I remember Auburn got skewered, rightly so, by spending $27 million to fire Gus Malzahn.
Well, I think that's apples and oranges, Coach, because Auburn spent a lot of money on a lot of coaches. Alabama hadn't spent any money on any of them. At least they hadn't in the last 18, 19 years.
Well, it's because they've had the best coach in college football history there for the last 50.
But, I mean, there again, I just look out. Any extension, any bump in pay for the boy. If I see that, I'm going to think, Greggy, whoa, Greggy, what are you doing? But Coach, are they going to have any choice but not to do that? Are they going to – if DeBoer goes – and I know there's a lot of talk – they're going to bump the playoff up to 16 teams. There's an article at ESPN.com about it. Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey are getting together, the architects of college football, and they're going to talk about it. You don't even have to read this article. And nothing against Heather, but yes, they're going to 16 teams. Somebody told you that 20 years ago. Yes, they are.
It took them 20 years, but now all of a sudden you say, see, I told you.
Yeah. So that gives Alabama even a better chance, 4 more slots to get into the college football playoff. But Coach, you know as well as I do, 11-4 ain't cutting it. Losing by 21 ain't cutting it. 35 ain't cutting it. And I know it's a different day and age. That's why Saban got out, I believe. But you got to be competitive, not only on the field, but in the transfer portal, in the NIL deal. And if they got to swallow that, I don't think they got much choice. But you got to have a guy ready to go. You've got to have a guy ready to go and take his place.
So I don't want to hear anybody said, man, I can't believe you guys spent all that money on Malzahn. Did Auburn, with all of the coaches that they have paid down through the years, several of whom were still employed, including Pat Dye, equal $55 million? I don't know.
Well, I think that's,
are you spending $55 million for a proven upgrade from Kalen DeBoer?
Well, Barry, you got to look at fan support, giving, donations, ticket sales. If things start dwindling, I don't think it leaves an athletic director much choice.
Well, that would be, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be justified if they did it. I mean, the moving him along, but the $55 million, ooh. So we'll take a break. More to come in just a moment. It's our Monday show. Coming up in a moment,
the dog.
Our Phantom Daily Dog. Next, Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. Okay, back at it here, about 18 minutes past the hour on this Monday morning with Longshore and McKnight. The Phantom's Daily Dog. Well, on Friday, we had the Phantom 4 as well as the dog. Let's see how the dog did.
I thought that was the reason why you were antsy about getting to the Daily Dog, is because...
Well, not so much. Barry, we were 3-1. 3 winners and a loser in our Phantom 4 over the weekend.
Right.
We started out with over 48 in the Oregon-Indiana game. Indiana hit that by themselves.
56-22. The total was 48.
Yep.
It ended up settling in at 78.
Yeah. So that was
squeezy.
Not a problem at all. Then we had the Chicago Bears at plus 1.5.
Ooh, I bet things were a little bit antsy there for a good long while.
Well, you say so, Barry, because I woke up the next day and checked the score and went, look at that. Bears won the game outright.
Yeah.
I did not see a lot of that game.
The Bears had to score 25 in the fourth quarter. They go to the fourth.
Yeah.
They go to the fourth, and Green Bay was leading 21-6 heading into the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears scored 25 in the fourth quarter, including an insane 4th and 8 throw for Caleb Williams, throwing against his body, jumping up in the air and getting shellacked as, he threw the first down pass to the sideline. And Chicago ends up winning it 31-27.
Go figure. Then, Barry, yesterday, in an AFC wildcard game in which it looked like my team was in control, and maybe if they would have gone ahead and let the Bills score a little earlier, not put so much pressure on Trevor Lawrence with no timeouts, go to, about 40 yards to get into field goal range to at least get it to overtime. We took it on the chin. We're catching 1.5, and Bills win by 3. That was our daily dog that took it on the chin, also a part of the Phantom 4. But we got it back last night with the LA Chargers. It's funny. It's funny how I know all females aren't like this, but probably most of them are. The wife said, "Wait a minute, didn't LA play, or didn't they play the Panthers?" I went, honey, there are 2 teams in LA.
The Chargers and the Rams. They do look a good bit alike, which throws some people, but yes.
I got really? That doesn't seem fair. How come they have 2 teams and other cities only have 1? I said, they got about 20 million people out there.
Yeah.
That's probably one reason.
The New York Metro has 2 teams.
So we went into the Jets and the Giants, the Rams and the Chargers, the Cubs and the White Sox, the Clippers and the Lakers.
Mets.
Yeah, went into all of that. That just completely confused her. She didn't want to hear it. But we had the Chargers and the New England Patriots last night.
Horrendous game.
Oh, it was beautiful. One of the best of the weekend.
A lot of Troy players in the game. Chargers starting running back Kimani Vidal, starting safety Del Pettis, starting
that's right.
cornerback Marcus Jones. They play for the Patriots. It was a big game.
So under 46.5? Yeah, beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Was that the number?
46.5. Loved it.
They scored 19.
It's beautiful.
New England wins it 16-3. It was 6-3 at halftime. I think.
Great.
I'm trying to watch it. Poor Justin Herbert is getting the dog snot hit out of him.
Yeah, he is. He's getting
over
killed.
and over and over again. Every time he came off the sidelines, his chin strap was right around the bridge of his nose, and that was awful.
Yeah,
that
I heard things
easy.
This game is boring. Let's watch something else. I went, boring?
Hang on.
Are you kidding me?
Give me that remote.
What do you mean boring? So 3-1 with the Phantom 4 over the weekend, but that leads us to tonight.
Yes.
And there's a lot of some NBA action, little college hoops.
Yeah.
We're going to the National Football League. It is the last game of the Wild card weekend.
In the AFC wild card tonight,
yes.
It's an ABC game tonight.
It is.
It is going to be cold in Pittsburgh, 33 degrees for the Steelers hosting the Houston Texans.
Okay. We'll do it. Here we go. Now, I'm a big fan of the Texans. I like some of their uniform combinations. I don't like the red. I hope they're not wearing the red tonight. But did you know, Barry, that Houston ended the regular season on a 9-game winning streak?
I did.
I did not
know that. Yes.
That surprised me.
Yes. They have been playing probably as well as anybody in the entire National Football League. I knew that about Houston because they were breathing down the Jaguars' necks the entire stretch in the AFC South. Jacksonville had won 8 in a row until yesterday. Yep. Houston had won 9 in a row and only finished a game out of the South Division Championship.
That's true.
They're good now. They're
good, Barry. But let me throw this at you.
Oh, boy.
Even though they're on a 9-game winning streak, the Texans defense allowed 20 points to the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh.
An offense that is void of any really household. Larry Fitzgerald's not playing for them anymore.
No.
If anybody can name me one offensive starter for the Arizona Cardinals other than their quarterback,
Kyler Murray,
I'd like to know. They also allowed 21 points to the Raiders.
Ooh.
And probably should have lost that game. Anybody want to tell me who plays for the Raiders? I didn't think so. They just fired their head coach.
Yeah.
They allowed 30 points to the Indianapolis Colts last week as Riley Leonard threw for 270 yards, 2 TDs in his first career start. Woof. 4 of the Steelers' last 5 games have gone over the total.
Oh.
I think you know where I'm headed here. This game is at 38. This game is being played in Pittsburgh. Could be some weather. Could be cold. Okay, I got it. But 38 points, defenses that cannot stop anybody. Shootout in Steel City tonight, Barry. The Daily Dog is going over the 38 tonight in the wild card weekend.
Wow.
Tobias says Marvin Harrison Jr.
is the best wide receiver for the Cardinals, but that's all I've got for you. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the deal out there? Yeah, you're in the desert. You know what's going on out there.
Let's see.
Mike Tomlin's a playoff legend.
Conrad Dobler does he still play for the Cardinals? No. Conrad
That was the St. Louis Cardinals that he played for.
Yeah. Geez. Jim Hart.
Yeah.
Dan Deerdorf. Not only can I not name hardly anybody on the Cardinals, I can't name much of anybody
Who was
over the
that
last
quarterback?
20 years.
I'm trying to think of the quarterback when they were in St. Louis. Started with an L, his last name, I believe.
Oh, from Portland State, Neil Lomax.
Lomax. Yeah, Neil Lomax.
Heck yeah.
He had that old double bar that quarterbacks used to wear.
Yeah, big curly blonde hair and all that. So, yeah.
Bill from Baltimore, John, thoughts on a Monday night playoff game? Love it. Heck yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Can we not have 2 games tonight? Why just 1?
I don't know. The whole schedule throws me. You know, like the games on Saturday that there were.
Okay.
That felt weird. That felt weird to have games on Saturday in the NFL. And to have college football games on whatever it was, Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Come on now, let's go.
Love the Monday night there.
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
Of course, the Phantom Selections brought to you exclusively by our friends at River Region Straw. All right, listen up. Kenny tells me that they've got plenty of seasoned firewood for you. It's going to be very cold this week. You can pick it up at their East Montgomery location, which is off Chantilly there on Ryan Road. They'll deliver it anywhere. They'll stack it up for you as well. Kenny, of course, provides my seasoned firewood for me, and it is just the best. It burns great, provides a lot of heat. Let me give you an insto forecast. Low tonight, 29. Low tomorrow, 31. Ooh. Low Thursday, 29. Low Friday, 27. Low Saturday, 37. Sunday, 20. Whoa, next Monday, 19. You better load up, folks. It's going to be cold, and Kenny can keep you warm with plenty of seasoned firewood from River Region Straw. Call or text 669-5959. That's 669-5959. Or go by their East Montgomery location off Chantilly on Ryan Road. You can pick it up yourself or call or text Kenny and they'll deliver it to you. River Region Straw, providing the best firewood to keep you warm during these cold days and nights that are here.
Yep. Cannot beat them. 669-5959. Here's a couple of things to watch out for. Maybe it'll be in the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. I doubt it, because these are procedural more than anything else.
Okay.
Coming up on Sunday, I don't know if they're meeting at the Dallas Airport Marriott, but that's where they usually are.
I think it's a Hyatt there at DFW.
College football playoff leaders have a pivotal meeting January 18th, according to ESPN's Heather Dinich.
Hey, I'm open. I can make that meeting if they need me there.
In which there will be the college football playoff leaders will be presented 2 arguments with pie charts and graphs of 2 playoff expansion models.
Okay.
A 16-team format.
Yep.
5 champions plus 11 at large. That's supported, of course, by SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey. And a 24-team format.
Better. Yeah.
Favored by Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti. Sources indicate the Big Ten is leveraging its support for a 16-team field starting in 2026, which is next year.
Oh, yeah.
They will support a 16-team playoff in 2026 if they can get a commitment to move to 24 after 2 or 3 seasons. That's called the Longshore approach. Okay, I'll give you this one time, but coming up down the road, I'll give you that. But 24 coming up, a timeline that would allow conferences to eliminate championship games and restructure postseasons.
So
getting rid of a championship game for college. This is what it would take. And John and I have both said, they ain't never getting rid of college conference championship games because they make too much money. Why would they get rid of them? Because under a certain proposal, they could make more money. That's the only reason why. So it's going to be hard for Greg Sankey to say, no, 16's good. 16's fine.
Okay, I can't
and everybody
double
else
talk here, Barry. I cannot double talk. I can't go back. I'm on record as saying I'd like to see a 16-team playoff. 4 didn't really, satisfy me. I like the 12, but 16's a number that I've been kind of harping on for a while.
Because it's symmetrical, you know. Buys, this team's got a buy. Buys haven't really been beneficial to the teams that have the buys. 16 is more symmetrical than 12.
So I like 16, but I do think in the environment under which we have experienced over the last 2 or 3 seasons, what I think we're going to see this season and in the future, you got to have more conferences and more teams involved in postseason, because I think there's some teams and some conferences and some fan bases that are losing interest. So how do you keep the interest going? Well, the regular season remains interesting because you're vying for one of these playoff spots. You're vying for playoff positioning. So that makes the regular season important. Then you get to the postseason and everybody's happy and giddy. Oh, we made the playoff. I hope that there are more on-campus games when the playoff is expanded.
Agreed. If you're going to get rid of the conference championship games, that's fine. That's the only way that it really makes sense. And that's the other thing. The other absolute in that is, man, stop sending the fans out to Pasadena one week and then sending them to Atlanta another week.
I mean, Oregon, look at Oregon fan. They had to go to Miami and Atlanta.
That was the best part about the opening couple of rounds. Is you had them in Oxford. You
totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, Barry, the NFL does that, except for the Super Bowl. I mean, if they want to be NFL-like, do what the NFL does. They don't play away from an on-site until the Super Bowl. So, I want more on-site games. You mentioned the conference championship. 2 questions there. Would Duke get in? I mean, if you're Duke as a conference champion, do you automatically get in? That I got a problem with. They got to restructure that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because part of that proposal is also to align the tiebreaker rules to default to CFP rankings. Again, the thing with the ACC, that's the ACC's fault that happened. And, their tiebreaker rules are different from the SEC's, are different than the Big Tens, are different than the Big 12s. And that's the only reason why Duke even sniffed the ACC title game, and then they hauled off and won it. Miami had to get in as a 12 seed, as an at-large, when they were clearly the best team in the ACC. So from now on, under that proposal that John's talking about, that we're talking about, the ACC would have the same rules as the SEC and the Big 12 and everybody else in terms of tiebreakers, in terms of scheduling. The Big Ten
the
would
bias
be
brings
forced
up
to-
that too.
Yeah.
Are they going to play at least one P4 team out of conference?
Yes.
I know
year.
there are some scheduled to play P4 teams out of
But
conference.
it's not mandated.
Yeah.
Not in the Big Ten right now.
You know,
so.
Ohio State's playing Alabama. Michigan's playing Oklahoma again, I believe, stuff like that. But
Well,
I'd like to see that.
The only thing that I've been looking through this to find out, again, the meeting is on Sunday, January the 18th. I don't know where it is. But the deadline is the 23rd, after which the college football playoff people say, look, man, if you ain't got it figured out by the 23rd, we got to go ahead and make plans and move ahead with what we currently have, right? The only thing that I don't know about, and there's going to be some intense lobbying about this, is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would go. I don't have any read on, because I would think that when Notre Dame didn't make the playoff this year and everybody was whining about it, and everybody says, stop whining, join a conference. Yeah, you're no better than anybody else, despite what John says. So, I don't know how Notre Dame would fit into this deal.
I wonder about
or even how they would
you mentioned conference championship games.
Yes.
What happens with them? Do those continue?
The only reason why if you're a conference and you get rid of conference championship games is if somebody can show you that you would make more money all the way around. Instead of two teams getting a ton of money for a conference championship game, your entire league would make more money for its members and constituents.
What happens with conference championship games? I think that would be really important. Notre Dame, you brought them up. I mean, why are they getting preferential treatment? What happens to the other bowl games that are played throughout the season? Do we still have them, or do we still have as many? I think that's also interesting as well. But Barry, if we go to a 24, I'm just trying to do the math. If we go to a 24 team playoff,
yes,
and you make your conference championship game and play 12 regular season games, if you made it all the way to the national championship game, how many games would you play?
That would be 17. No, with 24, that would be Indiana's about to play their 16th, and they played in the conference championship game.
But Indiana didn't play in week one.
Right, that's
this
right.
This week you would play in
So
week
it would be
one.
17 games. Yes, 17.
That's as many as the NFL plays in a regular season.
Yes.
I believe if you win the state championship in football in the state of Alabama, you've played 17 games.
Which is too many. I mean, it's too many.
You know what my response to that is? Well, then don't play. If little Billy thinks, I love football, but 17 games is too many. Okay, Billy, don't play.
But the reason why? Doesn't anybody care about the reasons why you're playing 17 games? It ain't for little Billy. It ain't for little Joey and the fun and joy of playing football. It's for those people like John sitting in front of his TV with a Bud Light saying, I want more. Give me more.
Sure.
Forget about those. They don't have to play. Get all I want. Give me a game.
Billy, if you don't want to play, hate it for you.
I got my Bud Light. I got my Destin Connection seafood.
That's right.
I'm saying, give me some
I
more.
got my firewood from River Region Straw.
Don't give me any of this crud about, too many games. Yeah. It ain't too many games for me.
Hey, Billy, go play soccer. If you don't want to play, then go play soccer.
Yes.
It's that simple. I mean, how many games do basketball players play?
I don't know. I don't know if this is right. Again, you're probably right. I don't know. Just top of my head, both Miami and Indiana are going to be playing their 16th game next Monday night in the national championship. Here's the deal. Miami had to play a first-round game.
Yep.
They didn't play in the conference championship game is what we were talking about. Indiana had some time off. Everybody was worried about that between the Big Ten championship game and playing Alabama after a bye in the Rose Bowl, and they were the only first-round bye team that was able to win it. So, yeah, that would be true. 16 games, but if Indiana had to play that first-round game, which they would in a 24-team format, this would be their 17th.
Kane Lake also said something earlier today, 39 minutes ago, that I thought Bama fans might just ought to think about. 3 years ago, Miami got beat by Middle Tennessee. When that game was over, did the Hurricane fans think, we'll never play for the national championship again? Probably did. But I think the point being, college football can change like that.
It will.
Like that.
Every year.
Every year.
Every year.
So could Bama be back next year? It's not trending that way, but they could. They certainly could.
Well, and that's one of the byproducts of the NIL era. Is that teams have that chance. Teams have that chance to move up. Indiana, if they were still, giving athletic-based scholarships and nothing else, they wouldn't have a prayer. If you had to sit out a year before transferring to someplace, Mendoza would still be at Cal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a Cal degree and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with all of these guys. Carson Beck would be graduated and on to the NFL. All of those guys. So this does give everybody a little bit more hope, but you've got to be smart about it. And Kurt Signetti is smarter than anybody else about that stuff.
Yes.
He's getting older guys who have played a lot of football, who are talented, who have high, who have high work ethics and all of the things that you need. Will he be able to do that every year? I don't think so. I think part of it is kind of lightning in a bottle that the chemistry just seems to be so good, and they've got such a transcendent player and everything. The question that people are asking that kind of surprises me, although it shouldn't. I mean, Indiana, I think they have beaten 7 teams this year. Maybe it's more. 7 teams this year by more than 30 points. And nobody's ever done that before. Is this the best college football team of all time?
Well, I don't know about that. But I think we need to see more. Maybe one season. Maybe,
The best college football
but somebody,
season
this is it. Maybe, I don't know if you brought this one up on the screen yet, but this says it all to me right here. We talk about a team that's disciplined, confident, very well coached. This is amazing. Indiana's committed 12 penalties, 12 in 14 games, and they're plus 20 in turnover margin. Those are the kind of stats I look at, not some guy that rushed for 1,500 yards against 6 of the worst defenses in college football.
And that is a thing. That is a thing. Why has Indiana had so much success? Why have they beaten 15 teams so far? They're 15-0. Why have they done it? Number one, they haven't beaten themselves.
Yeah.
What you saw from Oregon is a classic example of what they've done all season long. Let the other team make mistakes. And when they do, then you take advantage. I've never seen anything like that, where they have been so well coached. They just do not make mistakes.
Let the other team make mistakes. You don't make them. That's one thing I disagreed with a statement that Ben Hogan made. Ben Hogan, a great golfer back in the day. He said, you can't rely on your opponent to make mistakes. I made a living on the golf course making sure my opponent makes mistakes. You kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to try to play my best game, but I mean, the guy can't get out of a bunker or hits one into the pond or hits one OB. God, man, tough break. Man, I mean, you kidding me?
Are you? And if they don't look like they're going to be making a mistake, you kind of say, "Are you sure? Are you sure that one breaks that far left?"
I get it. You got to play your best game in. But hey, I've certainly leaned on my opponent. Making a couple of mistakes, getting under his skin. We call that gamesmanship.
Well, with Indiana, they do it better than anybody. People, Mendoza didn't throw for as many yards as Julian Sayin did. Or, they Oregon outgained them in total yardage and had more first downs. But you know what? Mendoza threw for as many yards as he needed to win the game. Indiana didn't gain as many yards as Oregon did because they didn't have to.
Yeah.
They that's like the old Lou Holt story he's talking about. Oh, I think it was Sonny Smith was telling me about it. Guy ran for a 98-yard touchdown against one of the Lou Holtz teams. Lou Holtz goes to his defensive coordinator, says, "How could you let that guy run for 98 yards for a touchdown?" And the guy says, "Coach, that's all he needed." Same thing with Indiana. Mendoza threw for less yards and less touchdowns than whomever. Well, he threw enough to win 15 games.
Yeah, he did.
He did what was required. I never can figure that stuff.
At 8:40, Lewis T4 wanted to know my thoughts about Big Bad Texas against Alabama. Actually, you must be tuning in a little late, Lewis T4, because we talked about that. When Bama can't hit the three and when they can't rebound and they're getting out-hustled, you're not going to win many games. And that's what happened. At least that's what I saw Saturday night. And Nate Oates pretty much confirmed that in his post-game press conference. Nate doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
You can't blame it on the kids. Why not?
Oh, yeah, here we go. That reminds me. Yeah, this is we don't want to jump the route on this, but yeah, this is what Gurn points out, a proud graduate of Sewanee. The 1899 Sewanee football team, they won what was it? They were 12-0. Outscored their opponents 322-10. They played 5 games in 6 days across the country, across the South. Sewanee beat Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, Tulane, and Ole Miss by combined 91-0.
Sheesh.
Now, Gurn Jr. played at Sewanee. My recently departed uncle, who I loved very much, was a 2-time Hall of Famer at Sewanee.
Oh, wow.
So I love me some of the University of the South, believe me. But they got to the SEC and they went 0-33 at one point. So anyway,
that's not good.
But there's that. So what Gurn Jr. is telling you from behind the scenes is, don't give me any of this crap about playing too many games.
Yeah,
21 5 games in 6 days.
Exactly, they sure did up there on the mountaintop.
Speaking of
Tennessee,
when we come back, it's our Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information. The Montgomery Regional Airport is getting better the more you use it. MGM offers multiple nonstop daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here. Okay, here we are back at it on this Monday, cold Monday. Make sure you give our man Kenny a call to get some of that seasoned firewood so you can stay warm. 669-5959.
Yeah,
great comments on the chat line today, man. Really appreciate all that good stuff. Some really, really good comments. Really appreciate everybody hopping on.
Yeah. And real quick, this is from Way Offsides, Jeff, about Tobias. He says, Smitty, have you seen Lanning getting drugged through the mud like DeBoer is?
Ooh.
Same Lanning that's 0-3 versus DeBoer and has been blown out in back-to-back playoff games. Well, back-to-back years in playoff games. He did win, the first playoff game this year. Alabama's tough on their guys.
If I had a suggestion for Lanning, he needs to shave that peach fuzz off. I mean, it's just not thick enough.
You said the same thing about Freeze, and you're probably right about both of them. I can't get it. I mean, I would. It drive me nuts.
If you're going to grow a beard, it's got to be. I mean, if you got a mustache, it's got to be thick like Thomas Magnum. If you're going to grow a beard, it's got to look. I tell you, he's got a really good looking beard. Is Don Jr., Donald Trump Jr. He's got a really good looking. It's shaped well.
Some guys can't do it. Some guys can't pull it off.
Some guys try to grow a beard. I'm going, you might need to lose that.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
I mean, it's the ones that
former coach of the Dolphins. No, that ain't you.
It doesn't connect. I mean, if you've got like blank, like bare patches, and you're going,
just clean shave, man.
Just shave the thing.
Yeah,
man.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you're right, Kay. It is peach fuzz. Lanning has got to. I mean, you would think
man.
somebody would get to him like his wife or something. Go, honey. Whew.
It's just
enough.
Not working.
No.
Anyway, here we go.
All right. So we got the looks like 7 topics today. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not know what these topics are. We're seeing them for the first time.
Yes.
As are you. So we're kind of flying on the seat. Why do you fly on from the seat of your pants?
That means you can't use your instruments when you're flying a plane. You got to know how it feels down below you with where the plane is, the way you sit. There are 6. We have no idea what they are, what they're about. We are, flying by the seat of our pants.
That's right. It's brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too.
Matt's back.
Matt's back.
Matt.
Oh,
the Packers and Matt LaFleur. Okay. You know, they blew it yesterday and losing to the Bears.
Whoa, wait a minute. That was part of the Phantom 4. What are you talking about?
1 year remaining on his current contract. They're supposed to have a meeting at some point. He is 36 games over 500 in the regular season in 7 years, but he has not been to a conference championship game in 5. And he has not reached the Super Bowl at all. So he's been good enough to get a good record, but not good enough to get them to the mountain.
Good ain't good enough.
Yeah.
Good is not good enough.
Matt's back. I don't know. They're supposed to have a meeting to see whether he's back with the Pack.
A meeting. Those usually don't turn out real well.
Yeah. You know, just usually it's like, hey, am I on for another 3? Yeah. Send me the papers. I'll sign it.
Mm-hmm. Come on,
Sherbert. Oh, yeah. Justin Herbert. Now, he did get popped around over.
He did. He got hit.
And, this one took him a little while to get up from. Over and over and over again. Part of it was because he was holding on to it too long.
True.
He looked really tentative. I mean, he's 6'6".
That's a hit there.
Yeah. Chest. I mean, a helmet right in the chest.
Yeah.
His numbers weren't terrible, 19 of 31, but there were a couple of times when he really wasn't decisive.
Now, let me ask you a question. Can you get thrown out of an NFL game for targeting, or is it just a penalty?
You can get thrown out, yes.
Because there was a one, I believe it was in that game, and I thought, are they going to throw this guy out? I don't think – I'll say this. I don't think I have ever seen an NFL player get thrown out of a game. I see him in college there's almost every game somebody's getting thrown out, it seems like. But I've never seen an NFL player's number 22 targeting out of the game. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm going to look at it.
I thought Miami was done the other day when their defensive back got thrown out of the game for targeting. I thought that, but they ended up. Yes.
Google that today. NFL players that have been thrown out for targeting. All right. Are we through with that topic? I mean, they want to get off on. I didn't want.
Yeah, I'm just double checking it. There's different levels of targeting in the NFL. You can't lower the helmet. In college, people say, "Hey, crown of the helmet." You don't necessarily have to hit somebody in the crown of the helmet. And let me correct myself. There is no automatic ejection in the NFL. Discipline beyond the penalty is handled separately by league review. So they can look at it later. And I think I've seen this before. Like on a Monday, they'll say, hey, remember that play in that game with the Cardinals? No, of course you don't. It's the Cardinals. But remember that play? Well, that guy's not going to play this week. But it doesn't happen. I mean, you cannot get thrown out of the game in the NFL for targeting, but you can be suspended afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. Now, you can get thrown out for spitting on a player, we're told.
Yep, and you can get suspended for pretending like you're a dog urinating on a fire hydrant at a quarterback that you just sacked. Thanks very much, Brian Cox, for ruining the fun for all of us. It was against the Dolphins.
Yes, I was about to say, that's good memory, because it was a Monday night game.
Well, you brought it up so many times. You thought it was one of your favorite moments in NFL history.
I mean, that's before you could rewind live TV. I'm thinking, did you just see that? That was hilarious. I mean, you sack the guy, and then you get on all fours like a dog and lift your leg up like you're peeing on a fire hydrant.
Didn't go over real well with the suits in the NFL. Okay. We got to move on, otherwise John will linger on this topic for another extra 2 or 3 minutes.
What a good one. Okay.
Yes. Big Ant. This has got to be Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves again.
Here we go. Nice.
Oh, the Spurs. They had Wembayana, who had a good game, but they had a big lead, but they couldn't hold it.
Uh-oh.
Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves got hot at home.
Target center.
Yeah. And they ended up winning it. They came from like 19 down.
Did you see that little kiss off the glass there? I mean, kids today, watch that clip.
Yeah.
We got a player at kiss Troy. Off the glass. It was awesome.
We got a player at Troy who
look at this. Ooh, look at that. High off the glass. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, aim for the square, man. It's there for a reason.
Yeah, love it. Everybody's trying to do nothing but net. You got to love that.
Anyway, Minnesota wins it. Yeah, they were down 19. They ended up winning it by 1. I think it was 104, 103, something like that. It happens in the NBA.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons why people love the three-point shot. It has changed the game. Ask Nate Oates. Mm-hmm. But also, you're never out of a game.
Never out of a game.
3. Yeah.
No, Barry, love the 3 if they could just swallow the whistle. We talked about this, Barry. I don't know who. I think Utah and BYU played after Alabama, Texas Saturday.
They did, yeah. Uh-huh.
That game was 30 minutes late getting on. You know why? Because those dadgum refs have got to go up to the scores table and review all this stuff and make the announcement to the crowd. I mean, even the commentators are going. Jimmy Dykes is going, enough.
Well,
Jimmy Dykes was railing.
I do remember that. You're ruining a good game. Both of them starting. Doug Shows, I talked to Doug. He does some Troy games, and he's always friendly with me. But, man, he thinks that people are paying their money at Coleman Coliseum to, hey, this is the Doug Shows game. We ought to go. You know, it ain't the case. Oh, back at it.
Yeah, I just, you tell
me. Yeah, that was a tough game to watch, even though it was high scoring because it took so long to
forever
run the game.
Not what I want to see.
Suspended?
All right.
Suspended. I never got suspended from school. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can tell you what that's like. Huh.
Dennis Schroeder looks like they got into it a little bit, he and Luka Doncic.
Yep. I don't like those uniforms, those green ones. Oh.
Yeah. This is after the game. There was, let's see if this is it over on the right. Yeah, I saw the video where they had a little bit of a disagreement on the floor. Doncic and Schroeder, both international players. Mm-hmm. 40 minutes after the game, Schroeder goes into the hallway by the locker room and says, I'm going to beat the bleep out of you.
This is great.
Yeah. What an idiot.
It's like Jerry Springer stuff.
What an
idiot. Second, before we go back to the wheel, I knew the second that I brought this up, somebody was going to say this. No, I'm just complimenting Don Jr. I think he's got a really nice, groomed beard.
Brett from Beauregard, that's a good get right there. It's so full and lush.
Yeah.
Oh,
giving that guy a compliment.
Fellas, that's a by gosh beard, right? That's what you need to aspire to right there. Yeah. This is a veiled reference. Brett from Beauregard, good get, because one time John was doing a live hit from the sidelines at the Iron Bowl or something like that. And Brandon Cox was the starting quarterback for Auburn, left-hander out of Trussville. Great kid. Mm-hmm. John says, he's a good-looking guy. And, the callers were jumping all over John. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I just thought he was a good-looking guy. I said,
He heard
I caught a lot of crowd. I said, I went up to a guy over Christmas and said, man, that is a really good-looking suit you got on. Is that okay? Can you tell a guy he's got a good-looking suit on?
Yeah, but saying a guy's good looking, girls can tell each other, oh, you look so beautiful. Guys can't do that. Hey, man, you're looking, hey, big man, you're looking good. John says that all the time.
Put together. Should I put it that way? Does that make it sound better? I mean, you really put together.
It does not.
Yeah.
It does not.
When you tell somebody, if you tell a female you're really put together, that's just a nice way of saying you're not really attractive, but you're put together really well.
No, those lead to restraining orders, John. Okay, here we go. This one is called Other Matt's Back. One Matt's back.
Okay.
Oh, Matt Ryan. Yeah, they had this yesterday. I saw this on the NFL Today where everybody was talking about saying goodbye to him because he's now the number one guy in football operations, like a level ahead of GM for the Falcons, where he played for 14 years. And guys like Nate Burleson and Bill Cowher were saying goodbye to him. And then shut up, talk about the game. Let's go.
Come on. Yeah. He wants to be back in the ATL because he's a member of a highfalutin club over there. He likes to play golf. He doesn't want to have to go to LA and do the NFL today. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, Matt. Now you got to get a coach. All right, one more to go. Got to spin it to make it official. Let's see what we got. The blue
Kalen DeBoer could coach the Falcons. His quarterback, the starter there.
Man, no
good
kidding.
Costumes.
Huh.
The World
Darts
Championships.
They actually got something.
Do they have that? All right.
You got
guys dressed up like fireballs. Whoa, back up. They got guys dressed up like fireballs.
Where do you get that costume?
Oh,
and then you got some guys dressed up like
those,
nuns.
but I've seen some. Yeah, okay. You got guys dressed up like something. I don't know. These are for darts. Check out that.
That's hilarious.
Did you ever play darts in a bar?
Yeah, I've thrown darts in a bar.
I mean, there's Paw Patrol and Ronald McDonald. I've done it before.
I was more of a shuffleboard guy, not the kind that you think of.
Oh, you talking about the table board at Bud's?
Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah. The World Darts Championships. The only thing I think that would be more boring than playing darts would be watching people play
darts. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Not for me.
Hey, great show today. Thanks for all the great input on the River Region Straw chat line. Always enjoy everybody chiming in, and we love to comment on your chats, which we'll need to do more of. I'll admit that. We need to get more into that. Tomorrow, of course, is Tuesday. Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. Travis Ryer on YouTube. Tough loss for Travis in that, what's it called? All-time teal or?
The no sleep teal.
No sleep teal. Yeah, boy. Man, no, that was tough.
Tough on me, too.
We'll check with them tomorrow.
Yes, plenty of good stuff. Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. And you. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by